What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Husband Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me tonight. I got my man, Jay Bible in the building. What's good, bro?
Not much. Look forward to another great episode. Definitely looking forward to the holiday here. Watch some good football over the weekend. But want to quickly remind you, you can catch us on TikTok as well as subscribe to us on YouTube at Hold Husband Podcast. And for those interested in promos, you can shoot us a DM at Hold Husband Podcast as well as shoot us an email at holdhusbandpodcast at gmail.com. All right, T.
I also got my man SD in the building. What's good with you, bro?
Nothing, man. Just glad to be back. Excited about this episode. First, I want to give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for always keeping the background audio fresh. And I want to remind you all to donate to the Hold Husband Podcast on Cash App and PayPal. All right, T.
I want to remind everybody y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on the core94.com. Tonight's episode is titled Life Ain't Fair. And we're going to be talking about some of the disadvantages and advantages men and women have when it comes to dating and relationships. But before we get into that, y'all know how we do around here, man. We like to discuss stuff that we've seen trending or seen on our timelines. And there ain't nothing a bigger topic than Diddy and Cassie situation. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you're very aware that Cassie filed a $30 million lawsuit against Diddy, alleging abuse and rape among other charges. Now, this sound like a damn Grand Theft Auto game with some of the stories, from car bombing, threats on people's lives and things, just all kind of stuff. What y'all think when y'all saw the story?
Man, when I first heard it, I thought, I believe it. That was my first thought. I believe it for sure. Because, I mean, truth be told, we've been hearing about stuff from Diddy for a long time. About stuff that he been doing to folks and doing with people, man, from back in the making the band days. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't nothing new. Yeah, we never really just heard about it to this extent from somebody that he was actually dealing with because she was so quiet about it. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you're right about some of the stuff that was going on. But honestly, I believe every word. Hanging somebody over a balcony because he was in a studio session with her. Now some today they was talking about he made her get breast implants. Didn't like them, then he made her go get them changed again. And even though the first ones wasn't healed up. So I mean, a lot of times when these dudes be having that much money and that much power, a lot of women will put up with anything.
Anything.
Yeah. We know it. Like it ain't no thing to it because at the end, I'm not saying this was her goal all along, but I mean, man, you kind of know a lot of times what you get into when you get into it sometimes. So I mean, even though he's absolutely wrong for if he sexually forced himself on her and all and those types of things, but the rest of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just reading some of the details of it, I'm just like, wow. It's like I didn't realize it was to that extent. Now, do I believe he did what he did? Absolutely. Now, do I believe she was forced to do it? That I'm just not sure. I'm not saying whether he did or didn't. I wasn't there, but it's just like, well, I think a lot of stuff she did to kind of stay out because she signed it was like a 10 record deal. A 10 album deal with when she signed that contract. So she was trying to do whatever just to kind of stay on there.
Yeah, but think about this. Think about this, right? Now look who's in that position. Young Miami, and she's like the 7th or 8th woman that he's with, right? That he has currently. And
she ain't said a peep.
Women.
She ain't said a peep.
No, but my point is all of these women know exactly who he is. It was a woman out a couple years ago saying, yeah, he stomped on my stomach. He did this, he did that. But is there a shortage of women trying to get with him? Absolutely not.
I bet there's still
my
women in his
point
DMs
is,
right now.
exactly, it is. We all know it is, man. If it's women that'll send Jeffrey Dahmer messages in jail trying to marry him and all of this, Diddy's got women at him. So my point is this: when you go into a situation knowing who you are dealing with, can you really cry wolf when you have to deal with what you knew was there when you went into the situation? That's like playing a game.
Of course they can. There's been precedent.
I know legally they can, but see,
it's
hard for me. You know what I'm saying? You go sit down and play a game with a rigged deck, with a rigged hand, right? And then you lose. You can't complain about losing because the cards was rigged. You knew.
But you know what? Esther, you know what? Here's the thing, right? Let's look at they broke up I believe it was 2018. So what is that? 5-6 years removed from they were dating. I think the husband might have put her up to say, you know, once she started telling him some of the details, he might say, hey, you need to go after and go get this bag here.
I mean, but
within 24 hours.
There's so many things that tie into Diddy and surrounding Diddy, just involving other people, like specifically the Kim Porter aspect of it, with the mysterious death. I saw a video earlier today where it talked about how all the people that started Uptown Records with Puffy were all writing tell-all books and then all died right before their books came out. So there's a bunch, you know, there are a bunch of things that allude to Diddy having something to do with it. Not to mention, he was brought up in the Tupac murder of about a month or so ago. So all the and from what I've heard, or I recall reading things, Big was in the process of leaving Bad Boy and about to start his own label. Yeah. So there are even, you know, conspiracy theories about did he have Big killed?
Yeah. Hey, I want to touch on something you just said about the tell-all stuff. Yeah, I think Cassie, she was going to drop a tell-all book, but she signed NDAs with them, so that was the reason why they didn't come out with the whole tell-all. So that's why they went this route instead of that.
Yeah, man. When that lawsuit paperwork is real, man. Once it's filed forever.
Yep.
Reading some of these details, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's better for him to go ahead and settle it that way, because selling it, he could still say that it's not true, and get around it and say, you know what, it was better for me to just get this out my hair, but it's still false because it never was proven true through the court of law. Right. Yeah, it never got to discovery in the court. It was just allegations, and so he could still save his image and say, the image of public opinion says Diddy's guilty. But the law,
and
but the law says
behavior in general. Because I have never seen from the reports say that she sued asking for $30 million, and in one day he settled for 9 figures, so at least $100 million. There is what kind of negotiating is that for somebody that's a billionaire? You know what I'm saying? Like within one day, you give somebody over 3 times what they originally asked for.
That's what
they said.
You said what?
That's what they said it was?
Yeah, they said it was a 9-figure settlement.
No wonder he was on the beach, man, holding his head in his lap.
So they said that he's not even a billionaire no more because of the settlement. That's what the reports that I read.
Yeah, he'd be all right.
I think it was easier for him to just make this go away where people will forget about this by next month, as opposed to, hey, I'm going to fight this. Let's just say it takes 2-3 years. Now his image is tarnished because this is going to be the first thing that comes up. He's like, hey, I'm going to make this money back by next year.
Well, I think personally, this has overshadowed everything that he's ever done. His reputation is tarnished forever. Because I don't think anybody's gonna ever look at him, like as just. I don't know. You don't think his image is?
Nah, think about it, man. He dating these heifers' favorite rapper, and you know what I'm saying. He got an amazing album that just came out. I think this will brush over. I think it'll brush over because it was never proven, like I said, and people will forget about it. I agree with Jay. that it ain't gonna be too long before it's washed under the table, man, and people don't even think about it no more. Some people will bring it up here or there, but on the
I mean,
grand
like he's
scheme
gonna
of things,
always be. Well, what I mean is, it's always gonna be jokes. He's always gonna be a joke comedians like Michael Jackson with the kid accusations, with R. Kelly in the piss video and all that. Like it's one of those pop culture situations that you're infamous for now forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but they still sold records even afterwards, even after the fact. R. Kelly sold records, Michael Jackson sold records. Nobody really did a whole lot till R. Kelly went to jail a little while ago, and I still play R in the car. So I mean, I don't think it's going to really hurt him all that much, you know.
In this aspect, I think his reputation has been getting a hit since the 90s, because all the bad boy artists are broke. His reputation in the industry is he's keep your publishing, and he's a shady business person, et cetera, et cetera. Then that's on top of all the gay rumors and all the other things. Like, so there aren't very many. Like, look at the just Mace. Like your sidekick at the height of the bad boy era is openly talks about how you fucked over him, how you know what I mean? Like, so,
and he's been very vocal about that for at least the past 4 or 5 years about getting his publishing back.
Right.
Yeah, but he just did it. I think he did it because they had so much dirt on him. And he did it, gave them their publishing back, like, look, now you gotta sign in order to get this publishing back now.
Yeah.
You gotta sign this NDA. Just like Cassie can't say another word about this. They can't say nothing else about it. Here go your publisher. After I done made $600 million off y'all, now y'all get it on the tail end where it's barely making any money.
Where it's pennies on the dollar at this point.
Yeah.
It's shady. So there are a lot of people that are mad at Cassie, right? So
mad at Cassie.
Yeah,
why?
Other victims, other people that he's done things to. I guess they felt like they wanted everything to come out, like you said, in discovery. Get his cell phone records, get start connecting the dots on some of these accusations and some of these theories. And so for her to take the money within one day, a lot of people felt like she sold out or she let people down.
And they would have did the same thing.
Facts.
They would have did the same
majority, and at the very least, the majority would.
Absolutely.
Unless you already rich, unless you already wealthy, you would have took the money too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but it's interesting. This word settlement, right? We see that a settlement is not always a bad thing, because it means that two people came to an agreement, right? And so, ladies, keep that in mind whenever you're talking about, I would never settle. That's false. Whenever you find a situation where it's suitable for both parties, that is the pure definition of reaching a settlement.
Tell you real quick, I know you work under insurance, and that's all you guys do, settle all the time.
Right. You said you agree to accept, you know what I'm saying, this much money for the claim or whatever the case may be. And sometimes people don't, if you can't reach a settlement, that's where you would go to, arbitration or, at the far end, you would have to file a lawsuit. But for the most part, it's a lot cheaper for an insurance company if we can come to an agreement. So when I'm handling the claim, I can give somebody something extra. I'm gonna throw in some extra labor. I'm gonna throw in a couple of $1,000 extra to try to come to a number that the contractor can agree with. But yeah, the concept is the same. We're in agreement and we both cool with what's on the table.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, how long y'all think he's gonna stay in the shadows or try to come back with a PR stunt?
I give him a couple months.
Give it a couple months.
Yep.
Yeah,
he'll be back.
I said take a couple months.
He'll be back with something. What, I don't know. He'll walk the red carpet with Young Miami or something like that, and it'll be all good. See, like, these chicks know what's going on. They ain't going nowhere. So now he's
Facts.
just gonna be a little more careful and make them sign forever NDAs. Like, you can't never talk about me. Like, that's what he gonna do. I mean, do I think he's a menace and one of them horrible people? I do. And I hate to say that, what I'm saying, about another black man, but I just think that that's what it is with him. That's just how he is, because he got so much money and power, and he know that he
I feel
can get
sorry
people
for
to
his
do whatever he
kids.
want to do.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't feel
all the
sorry for
people.
no bastards that's got $10 million in their bank account and they 20. I don't feel sorry for these bastards, man. Like, whatever. They grown. Like,
I mean, still, but having to deal with the shame of something that you ain't do.
You got nothing to do with.
Shame me.
Yeah.
Shame me. Give me the 20 million. Shame me. Shame my dad. Shame them all. Give me the 20 mil. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting though, because with Diddy, like, he owns Revolt. So Revolt being such a large media platform, media personalities and other people can't really speak candidly. And we, based off all the incidents and the initial lawsuit, he's a very vindictive and a very violent person. The most shocking part to me was the part about him having Kid Cudi's car bombed because he dated Cassie for a little while or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
heard about that. I heard it was true. Dude said
he confirmed it. Yeah, he actually tweeted something and confirmed that it was true. That's crazy as hell. Suge Knight was perceived to be this gangster, mobster, you know what I'm saying? Like, get you hit type of person. So to hear that Diddy was hunting for Suge and looking for Suge and all that, like I said, to me, it just provided validity to all the conspiracy theories surrounding Big and Pop's deaths. Because there are a lot of people that said he had undercover cops and all that working for Bad Boy and all that.
Oh, for sure. Come on, all that money he got. But man, what's crazy is he got her sleeping with prostitutes, looking for dudes with big black cocks. Why in the world are you?
And he was filming it. So allegedly,
your lady to make sure she choose a big black cock, then making her sleep, then making her that's crazy. Then making her have sex with prostitutes, man. Like, that's just wild to me. You get all from that line. People into whatever they into, right?
Swingers and what he called it, kinks.
Yeah, but did you see 50 Cent came out and said, "Hey man, I remember when they was dating. He sent me pictures and videos of her getting smashed. Like, he said, penetration pictures and video. Like, you got to be
now.
That's crazy.
Remember, she had new posts that leaked like years ago when her career first started too. I think she did. I want to say late 2000s. She had news that leaked.
Let me find these,
man. Well, see, it's so crazy because I only remember like one or two songs from Cassie. Cassidy's most famous for being Diddy's girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so to hear that all this was going on behind the scenes, like, damn, bro. Like, it's crazy what women will put up with, like you said, for a guy that has money and power. And that's why it's so problematic when women make it seem like that's the determining factor on whether you're a real man or not.
And
if remember, you can't afford to spoil them, then you're not a man, or you're not worth dating.
And just remember this. Remember, before she dated, she was with what's his name? Was it Ryan Leslie? Remember she was with him and left him to be with Diddy?
Who did? Cass? Oh, I'm not sure.
She was. I believe she was with him, but before she was dating, and left him to date Diddy.
He ain't have enough money.
Yeah. I mean, Diddy was definitely considered an upgrade, status wise.
Don't go into the business.
It happens.
All right, man. Let's keep things rolling, man. We about to take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna be getting into tonight's topic, where we're gonna be talking about double standards, and some of the disadvantages and advantages that men and women have when it comes to dating. You guys are tuned into the Husband Podcast. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hot Husband Podcast. Tonight's episode is titled Life Ain't Fair. And we wanted to talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages that men and women just inherently get when it comes to dating. On social media, a lot of times the conversation, I see a lot of women bring up double standards or things that they feel are unfairly against them. But I could make a very strong argument that there are a lot of things that benefit women when it comes to dating. For one, me personally, I think the biggest advantage that women have, when it comes to dating is their entry into the dating world is so minimal. You know what I mean? Like you ain't even got to be gorgeous to be able to get time, attention, and sex from men, which is something that guys inherently, compete for and have to spend their time working to actually figure out. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that comes natural to most guys.
Yeah, one thing that most women benefit from with dating or being with a man is a financial benefit. Because most men that, get with women, they fund pretty much the dates, the trips. If they live together, they pretty much provide certain things. A lot of the men or whatever. But either way, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they still benefit in some way financially, saving money from paying $2,000 a month at their place to now spending maybe $500 a month or whatever the case.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of benefits for each party, right? But women tend to only highlight the ones that they feel are unfair against them. And I think men getting tired of that because there's a lot of things that's unfair for men, but they never mention them and they don't care. Like they don't care that it's unfair that when men get divorced that they pay 97% of alimony payers are men. They don't care that it's 90% of child support payers after divorce are men. They don't care about any of those things and why men would be weary or would be more standoffish from getting married. They don't care. They want you to do it anyway.
They'll bring up the exceptions.
Because it benefits them if it goes bad. So nobody's upset at the double standards that benefit them. They only have a problem with the ones that don't. So, it's life ain't fair, like the episode say.
But that's what you just said is something just so like women don't care about fairness or don't believe in fairness, not unless it serves them. Just like you said, when you get married, they understand that the state's behind them. You have a child with them, they know the state backs them up whenever they want to take you to child support. They understand the financial ramifications for a man. And do they care? No, they're not going to say, hey, listen, I don't want to take none of his money. Hey, let him keep his money. No, they're going to take
very few.
And go about their business.
Very few.
And the crazy part is, if you don't want to do those things because it's unfair and they know it, they call you a boy. They say you ain't even a man if you don't want to get married or have a kid with them or something like that. They try to shame or insult you for not putting yourself in that position, even though they know that it's unfair for you.
They wouldn't tell that to their sons. Go ahead.
Exactly. Actually, just to pick that up real quick. Like women get upset even when you talk about a prenup. They'll start throwing insults. Why do you want a prenup? Oh, do you plan on getting divorced? If you really are you wouldn't want a prenup.
Yeah, they'll ignore the logic, behind it. Even though like I said, there's risks that come with any relationship. You can't predict how the outcome of any relationship, really. People, when you hear about these tragic situations and whatnot, those people can't, predict that that's how things would have ended up. And
Right.
so you have to accept the realities of the dating world. And one of the biggest problems that I see, especially among women, is they focus on how they think things should be instead of how things actually are. And especially in regards to how quality men think and operate when it comes to dating and relationships. They try to tell us how we should date and what we should think and what we should feel.
Like we
Instead of
care.
listening to like, yeah, like, no, you don't get to tell us what to do. This is how we
No.
do it, and this is why we do it this way. Y'all
Yeah.
should do more listening.
Yeah, man. Like I be telling women all the time, man, like what y'all don't understand is that men aren't going to change how they date in general just because y'all
Mhm.
don't like it. That's not what men do. You all have to find a way around. That's like men not liking the fact that you all want to date men that are financially successful. You all don't care that the men that these dudes don't want y'all to date that way, and rightfully so. And most women aren't going to change that. They want a man that's financially successful. If the guys that got a problem with it aren't financially successful, well, you don't want them anyway. So forget them.
Right.
And that's how most men are. They're not going to change how they date. It's been this way for hundreds of years. We date women that we are physically attracted to, right? But the facially challenged women, the big back women, want you to date them off of their personality. They don't want you to date off of what they look like. And they think it's unfair.
That's not
for men
fair.
to do
SD.
it.
It's not
But
fair.
know what?
You know what? Not even that. Some of them think they actually look better than what they actually look. Like you don't think she could be let's just say a 4, for example. She actually thinks she's a 9 or 10, and some of these women really believe that.
Well, that's social media. That's
Yep.
because of social media has inflated. See, back in the 90s, a 4 knew she was a 4. She sat in the corner. She didn't really say nothing because she knew she was a 4. Right? Now, social media has inflated the value
Yep.
of women through simps on social media, simps and lames, telling them how gorgeous they is and how you look and all this here. And
All the
now
emojis.
those women so now those 4s, they think they're 10s and they only want men that are 10s and high cal. They don't even like the average men anymore. That same thing don't work for men. That same
Right.
exact
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
don't work for men at all.
See reality.
Yes.
Your shortcomings are gonna get highlighted to you throughout your life, fellas.
Yes, absolutely. Because as men, we have to earn our value in everything when it comes to women and getting women. We have to actually go out and earn that, right? Most of us, the vast majority of men can't hop on social media, post a couple pictures, and then got 200-300 women just liking your stuff, telling you how fine you
Not
are
at
as a
all.
man. That don't happen for
Right.
men. Now, if you a millionaire or you got nice money or your body is nice or whatever, then maybe you'll get that. But women get that automatic, no matter what they look like, no matter how bad their attitudes are, they automatically get it just for having titties. Is it fair?
Yep.
No, it's not fair. But that's life. So the guys that can't
But-
get women gotta deal with it like that. You know what I'm saying? They do.
But you know what? These women know that. They know they can go get on social media and
They know.
bust it wide open or show their butt, show their cleavage. They know that. A guy can't go do that. You go take his shirt off and get a bunch of DMs or
Right.
get any money
And
from
see,
it.
Most
But women don't realize how that hurts them because so many women take the easy route where they try to monetize their sexuality, where they're exchanging their short-term goals to get the bag, to get the attention and whatnot, for what they ultimately want long-term, because that significantly decreases the chances that a man is going to view her as somebody that he wants to marry or wants to represent him.
True
Of
story.
course, you're going to generate lust, but that's not something that women have ever struggled with. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I don't understand why women make like that such a big deal or they brag about it. But it's like Teenage
And
girls can create lust. Like that's not something that is impressive. That's
exactly.
something that comes natural.
And I think what a lot of women fail to realize when they're posting this stuff on posting provocative posts or posting half naked or naked on social media, once it's on the internet, it's there forever.
Forever.
There's no scrubbing it. Like for example, when Joe Smith, found out his wife was on OnlyFans, what did everybody do? Go look her name up and found out who she was and what videos she was in. You can go Google it and find it on the internet.
Just like you brought up Cassie, I'm going to find them bitches. I can tell you that right now. That was 20 some years ago. I'm going to find them titties. I want to see them. See what's up with them. Like, all right, okay, Cassie, I see you. Your labia is a little crooked, but it's all right. I don't mind. But yeah, man, double standards, man. They happen to everybody. It's not just women and it's not just men. You just got to learn how to maneuver around certain things that are not in your favor. That's all. And I don't think women really do that well because they never really had to, maneuver around certain things, especially, when they growing up. Men just really give them certain things, but then when they get older and actually want to ring,
in the long run.
they have to learn how to make adjustments while dating. And I don't think women really do that very well because they never really had to.
All right, so I wanted to ask y'all. So when it comes to dating and relationships or whatnot, what would you say is the biggest advantage that women have over the average man?
The biggest advantage? Over the average man? I mean, just having titties is an advantage. What you mean? Like, that's their biggest advantage. Like, just being a woman. Just being a woman, you get things out here. You get men coming at you, men approaching you, and you get to choose from those men approaching you. Some women get to get money. They can get cash apps. They can get food sent to their job. The average woman, the average man can get none of those things. He just can't. Most men out here ain't even getting sex now. They're not because the average women don't want them. So their pool is much smaller. Yeah, so they got a huge advantage over the average man.
The same thing I was going to say, the biggest advantage a woman has is basically her sexuality, because just by having a vagina, period, she knows she can use that to her advantage, to her leverage. Like you said, she want to get money out of it. If a guy thinks he can potentially have sex with her, hey, there's going to be a lot of those guys that's willing to give up a few dollars in hopes of sleeping with her. Whether it's an expensive dinner, fancy date, cash out her to pay her rent, whatever the case may be here.
Yeah, I think most guys view it that way. Like the biggest advantage women have is they don't have to do what we have to do in order to get a time, attention, and sex from the opposite sex. So let's flip the question. So what's I would say for guys, the biggest advantage that we have is that we're logical creatures. And so we're not just all erratic and, based off our feelings and how we feel at each individual moment. So that puts us in a position to be able to sit back, study women, and make strategic moves to put ourselves in a position to get what we want long term.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that for most men that don't work, because you just can't be because you just can't be logical, right? Like Terry said, hey, we make logical decisions. Cool. It's a lot of men that make logical, good, sound decisions with their life, but they just don't have the swag. They don't have the personality. They don't have the looks, and they don't have the finances. So that's not an advantage out in the dating world if you don't have something else to couple along with it, like your looks, the way you carry yourself, your swag, the way you talk, your humor, finances. It's got to be something else to carry along with that in order for it to be an advantage. Whereas women they don't have to have something else on top of their sexuality as a woman. That's it. That's the baseline. It gets you what you need right there. That's why it's not respected for women to be hoes. But I'm talking about in the world, right? And by men and women, right? Because men have to have things there for a lot of women to actually want to be with them. he gotta have he might have a logical thinking, but like I said, he gotta have the swag, gotta have the humor, he gotta have the finances or the body. He gotta have a lot of things for a lot of women to want.
Or
women don't.
Be very lucky. Be Diddy's son or somebody like
most
that.
of them ain't.
Right. But
Right.
I would agree with Terry said the logic and the ability to. I think men do a good job of using discernment and able to compartmentalize things. Like, for example, a guy can have sex with her and not necessarily like her or have even an emotional attachment to her. Right?
True.
He can go sleep with women and go about his business very next day. Now, listen, do you have guys that have sex with women and catch feelings? Do you have those guys? Yeah. Not saying that there isn't, but I think most men can have sex with a woman that he doesn't like. Just because it fulfills his sexual desires.
That's why prostitutes was invented. Prostitutes wasn't invented because dudes love these chicks. They was invented because to bust a nut and go home. So yes, men can do that. Ain't no male, like it is a male prostitute, but not like women. You know what I'm saying? That's dudes will take a chick straight off the street, no teeth, one leg, get they nut and gone, and don't think twice about it.
Not at all.
Another thing that I was gonna say, that's a big advantage for guys, is that we don't have a biological clock. That's kind of pressuring us to try to, force ourselves into a relationship,
get married,
or find somebody under a timeline or whatnot.
But
so that allows guys to take a slower approach to making dating decisions than it does for women.
That's a great point. No, that's to say that's just
on our side a little more.
That's a great point. Yeah,
and I always explain it. When I do my sessions or whatnot with women, and they're kind of anxious. They're in a good situation. They dating a cool dude, but they're trying to force them to propose or force a ring instead of letting it happen organically. And I just try to redirect the perspective. Like, if the goal is to be with them for 10, 20 years, what difference does it make if you propose in year 2 or year 4? If you're with them on a day-to-day basis, y'all making life decisions, and y'all are getting the benefit of being in a relationship. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I was just going to ask you, like, when you're doing this, is it like family pressure when they're telling you? Is it like pressure from their family, whether it be their mother or whomever, saying, "Hey, when is this dude going to marry you?"
They get pressure from everywhere. They see it on social media. They see friends getting engaged. They see, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a combination of not having it themselves, the biological lock that we just talked about, and then when they start to get older and they see other friends that are married and having kids and all those things, and then when you talk about the financial component, like a lot of women want a husband, but they really want a guy that's going to pay majority or all of their bills. So that they're anxious and pressured to get that for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah. Hey man, look, I don't know, man. And as a man, you gotta be weary of them type of women. You really do, because it's a lot of women out here that just want to be married just to be married, and for the status and certain things like that.
What?
Go ahead.
SD, this great point. I'll take it a step further with you. I think with a lot of these women, they like the title of being a wife, what it comes with, the ceremony, be able to post the ring on social media, post the wedding. Mm-hmm. But I don't think there's a lot of those that don't want to put the actual work, what it takes to actually be a wife.
Absolutely not. And I did a survey where I asked the women only. I said, hey, do y'all think that the women are more interested in being a wife and actually doing the work, or just the status and bragging rights? And I want to say 85% of the women said status and bragging rights. These are the women that know the women.
You ever see at the wedding when they toss the bouquet, how anxious
they fight for it? Oh
yeah.
Yeah, and the dudes be like, no, whoa, hey. Hey,
that's
so I mean that's what it is, man. So that's gotta deal with it how it comes. So
man. All right, man. It looks like we are up against the clock. We're about to get up out of here, man. But before we go, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us late with our background audio. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast or our Cash App and our PayPal. JSD, man, I appreciate y'all linking up so we can get this episode knocked out. This has been another episode of the Hold a Husband podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.